Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining our session again. We are back with one other interesting session as a part of our bootcamp series. This is episode 11, and I'm your host, Sanchit. And this bootcamp has been hosted by AWS User Group Madurai. We welcome you all. Thank you so much for pulling out the time from your busy schedule in this weekdays evening. I know it's pretty hectic for everyone, so I do appreciate for taking out the time. We have a very interesting session today around AI and ML, and I will really appreciate our guest speaker. She is very early age in her career, but the kind of understanding she do have on AI/ML, that's fantastic. So with that, I would really go ahead, talk about a couple of housekeeping stuff, and then pass on the control to her. So we all know that this session has been, or this entire bootcamp series is done online, which has been streamed live on AWS User Group India, AWS User Group Madurai, as well as our Twitch session channel itself of AWS User Group Madurai. So please be careful. There are people who are across different skills, from basic beginner to the experts, as well as there are people from different languages. So please respect everyone. Allow them to ask their questions, get them clarified, because the entire idea of this bootcamp is for everyone, all kinds of audience, all targeted audience. So there will be people who have some very basic questions. There will be even people who are watching this session for the first time. So please don't hesitate, don't panic. If you're joining the session for the very first time, post your question in the chat. We'll be happy to take it up as and when we get a chance, and we'll ensure that all of your questions are answered before the session gets wrapped. And if you are watching this in a recording mode, please put your question in the form of the comment. I'll ensure that at the end of the session, you get the answers from our host as well as the organizers of the bootcamp. So don't worry, hold your seat belts. We do have wonderful session lined up very soon. And if you're not part of our user group Slack workspace, the link is flashing on the screen. Please do join bit.ly/join AWSMDU. This is an interesting and very highly interactive Slack workspace I have ever seen. So please do join us and get maximum and participate in our learning journey with us. So let me quickly talk about what is an thought process, what was our agenda to host this entire bootcamp, right? Why we decided to go with this bootcamp. So the idea was to design something which is a beginner friendly. Like this is, as I mentioned at the beginning, that we want to create the content. The content should be cater all the needs of the beginners as well as the experts who are looking to get more certification or validation credentials in this cloud space. So this is all kinds of audience. We also want to ensure there are proper demos, practice tests are there. So it's not just the theoretical. So we'll have different quiz, different tasks, hands-on demos by the speakers. So we don't want to ensure it's a blended content. We will give a certification of attendance to everyone who has watched throughout all the sessions, right? And actively, regularly participate here. As well as I mentioned, hands-on sessions. And we'll also have doubt clearing sessions. We already have a couple of sessions in the past, many more in the pipeline. So if you have any doubts, again, you do not need to wait even for the doubt solving. You can put it in the Slack workspace. All of our speakers are part of the Slack workspace, so you can join, put the questions. But if you have any specific questions around how you can prep, how we can fly with the successful outcome, we have dedicated doubt solving sessions with the experts. You can ask them. Last but not the least, we'll have a giveaways in different forms and shape. The quiz winners, the task winners, we have different kinds of giveaways. So please do participate actively in all kinds of hands-on activities that's required, right? We also have our third task, which is currently live. I'll talk about that at the later of the session. So participate on different activities outside the tutorials or the webinars given by the speakers, which will give you to more giveaways. So let me jump to today's agenda. So as I mentioned, we are in episode 11, which is a part of this bootcamp. And today's interesting session is an overview of machine learning series, right? How DevOps has been very particular and picked up in the market along with data analytics. Machine learning has been the top when you search about any keywords looking for a new job, right? Where we have a very good, I would say, speaker, Kaviya. She's pursuing her engineering specialized in AI and ML. I know she's a student, but she's a specialized in AI ML, and that's what she's here to talk about, her journey, her expertise in AWS and machine learning. So let's all look forward towards her and her presentation. With that, let me get Kaviya on the stage.
Yes, sir.
Hey Kaviya, how are you doing today?
Yes, I'm fine. Am I audible perfectly?
Yes, you're loud and clearly audible.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So hi Kaviya, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Awesome. So yeah, Kaviya, thank you so much for spending time from your busy academic schedule, right, and helping us to learn about AIML and cherry on cake on AWS. I think that's an interesting combination. So thank
Yeah.
you for sharing your valuable time with us. With
It's
that,
my pleasure, sir.
yeah, thank you so much. So with that, let me get your screen on the stage so you can go ahead and start with your presentation. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir. Yes, sir. Thanks for the amazing introduction. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes.
Yes, sir. And as sir have mentioned, I'm Kaviya Sri from second year in Mepco Schlenk Engineering College. And today my topic is on machine learning services overview. So I like to give a gist talk about it. And let me proceed. And the agenda for today is first, let's see about what is machine learning and what is automated machine learning and what's the difference between the auto ML versus the conventional ML practices. And today, let's discuss about the AWS AI services and the benefits of those AWS AI services. And finally, some learning resources and hands on demo for the last 10 minutes. And now coming to the first part, which is nothing but machine learning overview. Actually, the machine learning broadly is nothing but we are using for prediction. There are many sort of algorithms, and by training and testing, finally we conclude some results and we try to get some prediction out of it. So, machine learning involves various steps, and some of it is first we have to collect the data and we have to prepare the data in the sense we have to pre-process the data because the data which we are collected from the real world is not so sorted, and we have to pre-process in the sense we have to find the um, values which are non-null and null values, and the null values must be completely eradicated from the particular feature, and we have to extract the features which contributes much weightage for the prediction. And after doing such pre-processing, we have to choose a model for training, and there are several models which are there for training. And as a human, it's a tedious process to train every model for the data which we have and to test it and finally coming to a conclusion. And if it meet up our expectations, we just deploy it, or else we just go ahead and try out some other models. So it is just an iterative process. And as we are and this is what the conventional way of doing the machine learning. And finally, we are making the predictions out of it, and if we are satisfied with the predictions and accuracy, we are just deploying those model. And this is what nothing but the machine learning overview. And now let's go to the next part, which is nothing but the benefits of machine learning. So coming to the benefits of machine learning, it enhances the user experience and improve the data integrity, and it reduces the risk. Actually, the recommendations which we are getting in the Amazon shopping website is nothing but the because of machine learning. So those sort of machine learning is running behind, which we could see from the recommendation, because once we log into the any shopping website, we could see the recommendation based on what we have already purchased earlier. And all this is because of the machine learning which is running behind the hood. And it also reduces the risk as well as it lowers the cost. And these are the benefits of machine learning. And now coming to the stages in machine learning, broadly this is divided into four stages, which is nothing but the first, data collection and pre-processing. As we have to find initially identify the data source, and we have to collect the data, and we have to transform in the sense we have to pre-process it. Pre-process means we have to choose the features which contribute much for the prediction, and we have to eradicate the null values in the feature in the records of the features. And then those sort of pre-processing must be done before training the model, and any anomaly detection, and ultimately we have to clean the data before training. And coming to the next part, training the model. Initially, after cleaning, we have to split the model as train split and test split. So we have to then select a particular model. There are various models which comes under regression type and classification type. There are several models which we could train it, and then even after training we could do hyperparameter tuning to get the best outcome. And then after training we have to validate it. Validate in the sense we have to see the results of those training, whether if we are satisfied with those results, we could deploy it, or we could do just some predictions, or we could visualize the results. Or if you're not satisfied, we have to again train with another model. And in the same way, it is just an iterative process. It's keep on going and going as we have n number of models. And then this is broadly the stages which is involved in the machine learning. And now coming to AutoML. So to automate all the process which I have mentioned earlier, that it is sorted by the AutoML. AutoML is nothing but automated machine learning. It is referred to as AutoML as in short. So I have mentioned various steps which are done uh, human which are done by humans. So it is just a tedious process because everything is man made. It is not automated. So but in this AutoML, everything every steps which I mentioned earlier is automated. And AutoML is nothing but it's a process of automating the time consuming iterative task of machine learning model development. So, what's the main notion of AutoML is that it is not only useful for the data science experts or AI ML experts. Those are new to those particular field also get used to it, and they can easily integrate the ML to their applications which they have developed. So it allows data scientists, analysts, and developers to build ML models with high scale, efficiency, and productivity, all while sustaining the model quality, because the model quality is the main criteria to be noted down. So this is how the ML auto ML helps people of any domain, even though they don't have any prior knowledge about the machine learning. And now let's see about the AutoML process. Initially, feature selection is carried out. Basically, in the data, there are n number of features, and but only some features contribute much to the results, because they give much weightage for the results, and the results are mainly based on only particular features. So those features are extracted from the data set, and then model selection is done. As I have mentioned earlier, there are n number of models. So a particular model which gives higher accuracy or better prediction is taken out from that. And even after getting the model which is best, hyperparameter tuning is also done to sort out the very good model, that's the best model with higher accuracy. And thus ultimately we are able to get the optimized model. This is nothing but the AutoML process. And it's just a flow diagram which I have mentioned below. The difference between the traditional machine learning overflow and the auto ML overflow. In the auto ML overflow, as we have acquired the data, we just feed it and we'll get the model which is best, and we don't know what's going underneath the hood. But in case of traditional machine learning, as a human, we have to carry out all the processes, which is highly tedious, and that's a main difference here. And now coming to the benefits of auto ML. So, implementing ML solutions without extensive programming knowledge. So, here you could infer that any people like full stack developers or any other domain specific people, they don't have knowledge about the machine learning and the max and statistics behind it. So those people, when they're asked by the client to integrate their applications with the machine learning, they could easily integrate by this auto ML. And it provides agile problem solving, and it also saves time, because when we do it manually, we have to again and again train a model, and then we have to test it, and finally we have to see the results, and if we are convinced, we'll just deploy it, or else we have to iterate it back, and we have to get trained again. So it takes a long span of time. But by this auto ML, we could get a better result in short span of time. And now next benefit is we can leverage the data science best practices, and we can save resources too, because as we are training n number of models, resources gets wasted. But by this AutoML, the resources are saved, and the several models can be trained parallel and can be tested to get model with best accuracy in prediction. That's a main notion of this AutoML. So now here comes the next question is when to use AutoML. So a non-programmer or non-professional data scientist also can use this power, leverage this power of ML, as by just feeding the data they could get the model which gives better accuracy or better prediction, and it's quick to implement because it's time saving, and we could handle too complex data too, because when we are pre-processing the data which is too large manually, it takes a lot of time and energy for human. But in case of this AutoML, it could handle it very easily, and it could be used by the people who have lack of data domain knowledge, and building complex model with huge number of parameters. So if you have certain countable features, it is easy for humans to do it in conventional way. But if it has a large number of parameters, they have to fine tune it or to pre-process it. It takes a lot of time. So here where the AutoML comes to play. And this is the overview of AWS ML Stack. As you can see here in AI services, under vision, you could see Amazon Recognition, under speech, Amazon Poly and Transcribe, and under text, Amazon Comprehend, Translate, and Textract. All these services are based on only the text. And based on search, there's a service called Amazon Kendra, and in chatbots, Amazon Lex, and for personalization, there is a service called Amazon Personalize, and for forecasting, Amazon Forecast, and for fraud detection, there is a AI service too, and for development, Amazon Code Guru, and for contact centers, that's Amazon Connector. So these are the AI services which AWS offers. And coming to the ML services, there comes SageMaker Studio IDE, which has many tools inbuilt, and ML framework include TensorFlow, PyTorch, and Keras, and deep learning algorithms, and CPUs and GPUs, and FPGA, and many more. And this is nothing but the overview of AWS ML Stack. And all these services are available readily. And now these are the AI services in AWS, which is nothing but Amazon EC2 and Amazon RDS, Amazon S3 and EBS, Elastic IP, AWS Direct Connect, and Amazon VPC, Amazon Root F53, and Elastic Load Balancing. These are the sort of services provided in AWS. And here, as I've already mentioned, in this machine learning algorithms, it is pre-trained. So AWS pre-trained AI services provide the ready-made intelligence for your applications and workflows. So this is nothing but the AutoML process. Actually, we don't have to do it manually. Everything is pre-trained, and we just have to integrate those services with our applications for the common use cases, like for recommendations, and like getting some insights from the images, videos, and text, and for safety and security purpose, and many more use cases are available. And finally, uh, using this doesn't require any machine learning experience. So those who are not aware about this field also could integrate these services to their application, and they could deploy it. And now coming to the benefits of AWS AI services, people who are new to machine learning could use this, and ML enthusiasts with limited knowledge. Actually, I'm currently in my second year. I'm ML enthusiast, but I have limited knowledge currently because I'm keep on learning, and I'm curious to learn too. So for this kind of beginners and for those people, this AWS AI services provide a good platform, because when they're feeding data, they could get a model which gives a better prediction or accuracy, and we could feel those experience and we could explore it very well. Next, AI expert who want to build quick, accurate AI models. As I have already mentioned, there is pipeline running behind. That is, many algorithms are tested parallelly, and it's not tested serially. It is tested parallelly, so time is saved. So the expert who want to build quick, accurate AI models can opt for this, and an application developer who wants to leverage AI services could also use this AWS AI services. And as a summary, I would like to say that AWS AI services are ready-made intelligence because it's already predefined for your applications, and you just have to integrate with your applications for the common use cases with quality and accuracy from continuously learning APIs, because it's already defined and designed. And now coming to the Amazon SageMaker. Amazon SageMaker is nothing but in that's a particular platform in this where we can build, train, and deploy models in the cloud, and it has some set of tools. So it's a managed service in the Amazon Web Services public cloud. It provides the tools to build, train, and deploy machine learning models for predictive analysis analytics applications. So there are predefined tools which are available in the SageMaker. We could use it to deploy our model. And this platform automates the tedious work of building a production ready artificial intelligence by pipeline. So it is carried out in a pipeline fashion. So it saves the time. And and the SageMaker also uses integrated tools to automate labor. Without human labor, we could do it very easily. Intensive manual process, that is, it also reduces the human error and hardware costs. And ML modeling components are packaged in a AWS SageMaker toolset. Actually, this toolset consists of various tools. Later, I will explain. I'll show those SageMaker Console, how it looks and how those features are available in last few minutes in the hands-on session. And software capabilities are abstracted in intuitive SageMaker templates. There are templates in which you can build your models, and then they provide a framework to build, host, train, and deploy machine learning models at scale in Amazon public cloud. As it is integrated with the cloud, it has many features which will be easy for the use. And now coming to how does Amazon SageMaker work? It is divided into three. First, let's see how we can prepare and build AI models. SageMaker initially creates a fully managed ML instance in Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud, that is, which is nothing but EC2, and it supports the open source Jupyter Notebook web application that enables developers to share live code. So, if you have created a notebook instance, you could import all the Jupyter Notebook libraries and everything which you do normally, and thus you can develop code in that. And then notebook include the drivers, packages, and libraries for common deep learning platforms and frameworks. And SageMaker pull data from Amazon's simple storage service S3, and there is no limit to the size of data set, because as it is stored in the cloud, very huge data also it supports to store. And now next one is train and tune. In this, when doing a model training, we have to specify the location of data in an Amazon S3 bucket and preferred instance type. It has to be mentioned before training the model, and they initiate before training process. We have to set out this, and then we have to initiate the training process. And the SageMaker model monitor provides a continuous automated model tuning to find the set of parameters or hyperparameter to best optimize the algorithm. So this SageMaker model monitor, it have the control over the hyperparameter tuning, and during this step, data is transformed to enable feature engineering. And the final step is deploy and analyze. So after preparing, then training, And now comes the analyzing part and deploying. So when the model is ready for deployment, the service automatically operates and scales the cloud infrastructure. So the SageMaker deploys across multiple availability zones, so that as it is in the cloud, it could have access over various zones and performs health checks and applies security patches and sets up AWS auto scaling and establishes secure HTTPS endpoints to connect an app. So this is for an integrating purpose. This can be integrated with any applications uh, in which we try to integrate it. So a developer can track and trigger alarms for changes in production performance via Amazon CloudWatch metrics, and it keeps in track of all these kind of stuff related to deployment and analyzing. And now coming to AWS Autopilot. It is also nothing but a service in AWS. So in during training, AWS Autopilot creates a number of pipelines in parallel that try different algorithms and parameters. Actually, a particular data set has various parameters of features, which and from in those features, only few are having higher weightage, which directly depends on the final prediction. So those sort of features are extracted, and they are trained by different algorithms. As I've already mentioned, there are a number of algorithms, and doing all those as human is very tedious and hectic process. And this AWS Autopilot, it creates a number of pipeline in parallel and do all those kind of stuff. And then the services iterates through ML algorithms, because as there is many algorithms, it iterates through many algorithms paired with selections, where each iteration produces a model with a training score. After each iteration, the model produces a training score, and if we are satisfied with that, we'll stop the training and we'll just deploy that model, or else we have to iterate it back and we have to try another algorithm and repeat those all kind of stuff again. And the higher the score, the better the model is considered to fit your data. So obviously we will look for the model which gives you higher score. So ultimately we will reach up with a model which gives a higher score, and that model is considered to fit your data well. And we could stop once if it hits the exit criteria defined in the experiment. As we could here in this AWS Autopilot working, we could fix the exit criteria. Like we can fix the time as 2 hours or 3 hours. In that stipulated time, many algorithms will be carried out parallelly, and from those algorithms it could get the best algorithm out of it. So we could stop once if we hits the exit criteria. And this feature is also available, like we can fix the exit criteria while training and validating as well as deploying finally. And these are the steps to design the AWS Autopilot, which is nothing but first is we have to set up the AWS Console and SageMaker Studio, which is the preliminary thing which we have to be doing. And then we have to set up an input and output data source for running this autopilot. And then after doing all these kind of stuff, we have to run the autopilot. And after running, we could review the experiment runs. And now coming back to feature engineering, initially after training, we have to after getting the data and pre-processing it, we have to experiment the data. Like we have to split the data into train, test, split, and train and test split. That is for training and validation. And all these artifacts are stored in S3 bucket. And while in the feature engineering stage, you can open and view two auto generated notebooks. That is, when you do this, notebooks will be auto generated. The first one is that in first notebook you could see the information and the statistics on the data set. So you would like to you will be able to see, like in this notebook, the statistics on the data set on which you have been using, and the information about the data set, like a quick overview of the data set you could see in this notebook. And in the next one, a candidate generation notebook contains a definition of the 10 pipelines. That is nothing but in this another notebook you could see what are the algorithms which took part in the training, and which is the best out of it, and the reason why that is better. It is also available in the code generation notebook, so you could understand how the different models are built and even keep tweaking them if you want. And with these notebooks we can understand in detail how the data is pre-processed and how models are built and optimized. So finally, uh, after getting the optimized model too, you could come to know that why this model is best. The reason for it also, it is able to be known when we valid after validating it. And this is what nothing but the feature engineering. And next, coming to model tuning. In model tuning stage, in feature engineering there are various features. So the feature which contributes a lot for the final validation, it is taken, and the rest of it is eliminated. And those important features are s- uh, or pushed for the model training. That is for the in the training process, only those features which are very important or trained, and those feature plays a very important role. And in this model tuning there are various models available, and these are carried out in a pipeline fashion. And the model which is the best, and it is taken for the validation. And before validation it is also taken a previous step for hyperparameter tuning. And after this it is set for validation. And if that validation is what we expected, we would stop this. And once this stage is complete, the SageMaker Autopilot is complete, and you can see and explore all jobs in SageMaker Studio. And now coming to the features of SageMaker, there are various features available in the SageMaker. There is a number of features, so to say, and the features are accessible in AWS SageMaker Studio, an integrated development environment that consolidate all the capabilities. Excuse me. And users have two ways to create the Jupyter notebook. So as I've already mentioned, we can create the notebook instances in this SageMaker. So user have two ways to create this Jupyter notebook. One is as an Amazon EC2 powered ML instance directly in Amazon SageMaker, and the other is as a web-based IDE instance in SageMaker Studio. And these are the two ways in which we can create a Jupyter notebook instance, and we can share a live code, and we can do all those kind of stuff here. And now coming to the SageMaker tools. Here, the first one is the Autopilot. The Autopilot, it enables AI models to be trained for a given data set and ranks each algorithm by accuracy. So various models are trained, and only one model is taken as an optimized model for the particular data set. And you would also come to know that why that model is best. Those information also could be drawn out from this Autopilot. And coming back to the next is data wrangler. It is used to speed up the data preparation. And next one is a debugger. It monitors the metrics of neural networks to simplify the debugging process. So ultimately it debugs everything what we are doing, so it would be very easy. And then is the edge manager. It extends ML monitoring and management to edge devices. And next is experiments. This makes it easier to track different ML iterations, including how change the progress is, whether it is degrading or improving based on the model accuracy. So nothing but experiment tool in SageMaker is nothing but you could get a track or idea of how the process is, like whether it is degrading or it is improving. Those could be analyzed from this experiment tool. And now coming to the ground truth, it speeds up the data labeling and helps to lower labeling costs when processing large AI training samples. So coming to data pre-processing, in few data set we have to label the images, and for labeling these images, this kind of ground truth tool is used to label it. And next one is Jumpstart, and this offers a set of customizable pre-designed AWS cloud formation templates. this is nothing but some kind of template which we could use it for some customization. And next one is the model monitor. From this tool name itself, you could figure out that it's just for monitoring purpose. It could see how this it would monitor all the thing which it does. That is, it enable ML tool to spot application level deviations that negatively affect the accuracy of predictions. That is nothing but it could monitor whether something is going to go wrong, or is it going smooth. Those kind of tracking is done by the model monitor. And next one is the notebook. So here we can create the Jupyter notebooks with one click and transform the content of a notebook for collaborative purpose. So in this notebook, we can create many instances, and we could integrate with the Jupyter. As we have created the notebook instance, it would be connected to the Jupyter notebook, where we can train the data. We could buy the code which we are typing, and we could share the code, and then finally we could validate the model, and finally we could deploy it. And next one is the pipeline. It offer developers ML services for continuous delivery and continuous integration. As it is carried on a pipeline, it could it is very easy for continuous integration and delivery purpose. And now coming back to the next part, which is nothing but SageMaker use cases. In this, you could access and share the code, and you could accelerate the production ready AI modules, because there are pre-trained AI modules which is present. You just can import it, or you just can integrate those your application with those AI modules. And then you can enhance data training and inferences, iterate more accurate data models, and you can even process large data set. As a human, you could process only the data set which is very less in amount, because you could manually can you are able to handle only certain features. But by this kind of tool, you can even process a large data set, and you can share modeling code, and you can optimize data ingestion and output. Like, you can have a track on all this, and the ultimate output is whether you'll be getting a best model. But you'll not be able to know what is happening underneath the hood. And next comes the SageMaker use cases, which is nothing but S3 is integrated in AWS SageMaker, and the testing, training, and validation of data can be stored in a collaborative data lake. Like, all these steps are stored in the cloud, and this enables users to securely interact with data using the AWS Identity and Access Management Framework, which is nothing but IAM. And thus it gives you better security while interacting with the data. And the Amazon SageMaker also encrypts models both in transit and at rest through the AWS Key Management Service. And for enhanced data security, the main notion what everyone expects is that the security for the data, and it is also achieved by these kind of Amazon Virtual Private Cloud. So the customers can launch SageMaker in an Amazon Virtual Private Cloud, so they could find themselves safe with the data. And these are the use cases. And now coming back to the list of AI services, first one is the Amazon Comprehend. Here there are many services. I like to give the gist on what are the services and what's the role of those services. First one is the Amazon Comprehend, and the Amazon Comprehend is a text based. It is like for languages. It is a NLP service that uses machine learning to find insights and relationship in text. So to draw out some insights and relationship in the text, we can use this Amazon Comprehend. And the next one is Amazon Comprehend Medical. So it is also based on language, which is nothing but text. It is eligible for NLP that uses machine learning to extract health data from medical text. So if there is a particular sentences of text, and you could just able to extract only the health data, so for those kind of purpose, this AI service Amazon Comprehend Medical is used. And then coming back to Amazon Poly, uh, the Amazon Poly's text to speech, this is nothing but for translation purpose. It uses advanced deep learning technologies to synthesize natural sounding human speech. It's for translation purpose. And now next one is Amazon Recognition. Amazon Recognition makes it easy to add image and video analysis to your applications, and it is highly scalable, and it is for deep learning technology too that requires no machine learning expertise to use. So anyone who is not expertise in that particular deep learning field could also use this Amazon Recognition to add images and video analysis to your applications. And now comes the Amazon Textract. From this word itself, you could understand that it's a combination of text and extract. That's nothing but the Textract. So it is a fully managed machine learning service that automatically extracts printed text, handwriting, and other data from the scanned document. So if there is any document you have to extract some particular text from it, you could use this Amazon Textract. And the next one is Amazon Transcribe. In this Amazon Transcribe, it makes it easier for developers to add speech to text capabilities to their applications, and audio data is virtually impossible for computers to search and analyze. So, for this kind of purpose, and it is easy for developers to add speech to text capabilities. That's the main notion behind this Amazon Text Transcribe. And now, next, coming to the Amazon Translate, it's a neural machine translation service that delivers fast, high quality, affordable language translation. And the ultimate goal of this Amazon Translate is nothing for the translation purpose, because if we commute to many other countries or many other North Indian states, there is a need of this translator, because everyone may not know all the languages. So this will be highly usable at that time. And the next one is Amazon Lex. Amazon Lex is a service for building conversational interfaces into any application using voice and text. So for this kind of purpose, Amazon Lex is used to interface the application which has a voice as well as text. And then finally, Amazon Augmented AI. In this, it provides built-in human review over workflows for common machine learning use cases such as content moderation and text extraction from documents, which enables you to review predictions from Amazon Recognition and Amazon Textract. So all these are integrated in this Amazon Augmented AI. And finally, coming to the Amazon Code Guru, it's a developer tool. So broadly we can see that it has the language tools and has developing tools. So all these AI services are available predefined in the AWS, and which we can integrate with our applications. And now let's see about the Amazon Code Guru. Actually, it's a developing tool that provides intelligent recommendations to improve your code quality and identify an application's most expensive lines of code. So to trace out those kind of things, Amazon Code Guru is used. And now coming back to Amazon Forecast, it's a fully managed service that uses machine learning to deliver high accurate forecasts. And that's what the main notion of this. And now coming back to Amazon Fraud Detector. Amazon Fraud Detector, it automates the time consuming and expensive steps to build, train, and deploy an ML model for fraud detection, thus making it easier for customers to leverage the technology. It is mainly used to automate the time consuming and expensive process of building, training, and deploying process, obviously, because these steps take a lot of time. So to overcome this time consuming steps, this Amazon Fraud Detector is used. And now next is the Amazon Health Lake. Amazon Health Lake is a tool which is a service that enables healthcare providers, health insurance companies, and pharmaceutical companies to store, transform, query, and analyze health data at petabyte scale. So at a large scale, they could analyze those kind of stuff by using this Amazon Health Lake. All this is mainly for the health purpose. So it is very useful for the healthcare providers and the insurance companies and pharmaceutical companies. They get benefited by this Amazon Health Lake. And now coming back to Amazon Kendra. Amazon Kendra, it reimagines the enterprise search for your website and applications, so your employees and customers can easily find the content that they're looking for, even when it's scattered across multiple locations and content repositories within your organization. Like if it is scattered to, they could come out and they could sort out what they're looking for in a shorter span of time. That's nothing but the Amazon Kendra. And next is the Amazon Lookout for equipment. So this uses the data from your sensors to detect abnormal equipment behavior, so that you can take action before machine failures occur and avoid unplanned downtime. It's like predicting some failures before which is going to happen, so that the resources will be saved by this Amazon Lookout for equipment. It generally it tracks the failures before it is about to occur, and it alerts, so that it will not be this those equipments cannot be failed. And now next is the Amazon Lookout for Vision. And the Amazon Lookout for Vision is a machine learning service that spots, detects, and anomalies in visual representation using computer vision. So it is for the computer vision purpose this Amazon Layout for Vision is used. And the next one is the Amazon Monotron. Amazon Monotron is an end-to-end system that uses machine learning to detect abnormal behavior in industrial machinery, enabling you to implement predictive maintenance and reduce unplanned downtime. So it just monitors all those tasks which we are doing, and that's the main role of this Amazon Monotron. And next, coming back to the Amazon Personalize, it's for personalization, and it enables the developers to build applications with the same machine learning technology used by Amazon.com for real-time personalized recommendations. So it's used for the developers to build applications with the same technology used by those Amazon.com. And now let's see about the AWS Panorama. AWS Panorama is a machine learning appliance and software development kit that allows organizations to bring computer vision to on premises cameras to make predictions locally with high accuracy and low latency. And this word is unique. It gives the higher accuracy and low latency. And that's the main useful service of this AWS Panorama. And now we have seen various AWS AI services. And now I like to show you how that SageMaker console looks. And let me go to the AWS Management Console. And this is, I hope you could see this. Is it visible?
Yes, it is. Please go ahead.
Thank you. This is a console of AWS management. And as I have mentioned earlier, I'll like to show how the SageMaker console works, and what are the how you can access the tools and what are the services there. So going to the services in the left top corner, and under machine learning you could go to this in machine learning you could see all those services which I have mentioned here. Like I have said about the augmented AI and Code Guru for developers, and for comprehend for text, and the medical to extract the comprehend medical to extract the text which is based on the medical. And it is for these deep composer, deep lens, and deep razor, or the tools for learning purpose. And DevOps Guru forecast for forecasting purpose, and fraud detector for detecting the fraud. And then health lake is also for getting the sense of health data, like to extract those data which is based only on the health. So it is used for the pharmaceutical industries and um, insurance related industries which is based on health. And Amazon Kendra, with these kind of stuff I have already mentioned all these services and the uses in and I gave a glimpse on how this what's the main idea behind these kind of services. And Amazon Lookout for Vision and Amazon Monotron, which it gives the end-to-end system for equipment monitoring. And for personalization, Amazon Personalize and Amazon Poly and SageMaker. This SageMaker, I'm going to give you a gist on how the console looks and what you can do in this SageMaker. I'll be saying now. And these are the stuffs related to the services related to the text, that is nothing but extract, and then translate, transcribe, all these kind of. So these are very useful, and this can be easily integrated with any applications on which we are building. And it is useful for all those who don't have any prior knowledge on this too. So it's really interesting, and we could explore a lot if we dive into this. But for as the time is concerned, I would like to show you about the Amazon SageMaker alone for this. So the Amazon SageMaker, it is used to build, train, and deploy machine learning models. So going to this is the Amazon SageMaker console. This is how it looks. So initially we have to pre-process the data. Pre-process in the sense we have to label it, and we have to uh, and for labeling, these kind of things are already available. And after labeling and pre-processing, we have to build in the sense we have to transform those data in SageMaker notebooks. And like we have to create the notebook instances, and after notebook instances are created, it will be linked to the Jupyter notebook, so that you can get your code there, and then you can finally train those by some algorithm which you specify. All these has to be specified, and then finally you could tune it, that is hyperparameter tuning, you can do that. And finally, it if it meet up your expectations, you could finally deploy it, and deploy in the cloud, and everything is monitored and it is secured. And finally you could also discover something new which is already pre-built by some users, and it is available in AWS marketplace. And all these can be accessed in this Amazon SageMaker. So now in this uh, left panel, you could see the tools available. So initially you could see the Amazon, say under the SageMaker domain, you could see the SageMaker Studio. In this, where you can build up a studio. Now as far as the time is concerned, I like to say you like a gist on how the console looks and what else you can do. I'm not just diving into everything. Once again, I'll go back again. And now after getting out the data, we have to label it. So I'll just show how the labeling must be done. After going to labeling jobs, you would get a console like this one. So I have not created any labeling before, so I'll just say you how to create it. You have to you have to hover over this create labeling job, and you have to click it, and then there appears this console. And here you have to give any name for your job which you are doing. And we have to provide the location for the input data set, which is stored in the S3. And then we have to choose the data type, whether the data, whether we have to label for the image or text or video. So all these kind of stuff must be mentioned before labeling those. And then we have to provide the IAM role. IAM role is nothing but it's for access management, and this also has to be mentioned. And then finally, the task category must be mentioned, like you are doing for image or text or video. And in video there are various classifications, or for object detections, or for object tracking. All those must be mentioned before labeling. And for image classification is for single label, and it is also for multi label. And bounding box, that is bounding box is to set up the annotations for the deep learning, like for CNN and for computer vision. And you can draw out those annotations, that is you can get out those annotations by these bounding boxes. And semantic segmentation is that you could figure out the pixels in this and those kind of stuff can be done in the semantic segmentation. And at last, label verification can be done by any other third persons, so those kind of things can also be done. And finally, you could give next, and you could create it. Actually, now I've just said how you have to do this and how these services are available, and you can try it out. And now, coming back again, because there are various things to be explained, so I'll be just saying the glimpse on how it looks and what can be done and how it's useful. And now we have seen how to label encoder. And next, coming back to notebook, I have already said you we can create the notebook instances, and in this notebook you have notebook instances, lifecycle configurations, and Git repositories. You can integrate the GitHub repositories with this kind of notebook. You can clone the repositories and you can use it, and thus you can contribute to the open source also. And let's see how to create the notebook instance. You have to go to notebook instance under the notebook, and by going to this, and in this too I have not created anything, but I'll just say you how to do this. And you have to go to create a notebook instance, and here you have to mention any name for the notebook. And there are various notebook instant types available, that is medium, large, 2x, x, triple x, 4x, and many things are available, but as we can have it as medium itself. And then elastic inference can also be set out. And then you have to mention the access management, that is IAM role. You have to mention it accordingly. And then you have to create a notebook instance. The notebook instance will not be created at once, it takes few minutes. After it is created, it will get integrated with the Jupyter notebook, in which you can do the coding and all those kind of stuff. And thus we would create this notebook instances too. And now coming back again, next to the processing, let's see the processing job. So here also initially have to give the job name and the container and the access role, that is IAM role, and the resource configuration, stopping condition. So I have mentioned you earlier, like we can give the stopping condition for before train for the training. So in the pipeline, some only some algorithms are considered, and they are uh, trained to get out the best one. And finally you can add some specification, sorry, app specification, but it's just optional. And you must give the input data configuration, like you have to process the input name and the compression type, S3 data type, and the local path and S3 location. All these kind of stuff must be given for the input, and the output data configuration must also be given, and the path can be mentioned, the location can be mentioned, and all these must be mentioned, and we can submit it. And this is what the uh, processing job console looks. And now coming back next to the training. So coming to training jobs. So now first we have created a label, and we have seen how to create the notebook instance and how to process the jobs. And now coming to training. Training in the sense we have to choose which algorithm it must be trained. So for doing those, we could go to this create training job. And initially for everything you have to give the name initially, and then you have to specify the IAM role. Then you have to specify the algorithm option, like you can give any algorithm type. There are many algorithms available, like K means KNN, which comes under classification, and random cut forest, XGBoost, and image classification, object detection. There are many things available. And PCA, that's nothing but principal component analysis. So you can give anything which you like to train it. And then you have to specify the resource configuration, stopping condition, and everything, the hyperparameters, input data configuration. All these kind of stuff must be mentioned. And the S3 location for the output data configuration must also be mentioned. And after doing all this, you will be training your model. So thus we could train it. And then coming back again to this, so we have seen the training jobs. Next coming to the inference, you could see the compilation jobs, model packages and models, and endpoint configuration, endpoints, and batch transform jobs. Here you could see you could see about the model packages and the models on which you have built. Those things can be seen here. And coming to edge manager, you could see about the edge packaging jobs and edge device fleets and edge devices. And last, coming back to augmented AI, you could see the worker task templates, human review workforces, and everything. And it's a wide area to dive in. And finally, coming back to AWS Marketplace, you could see the model packages which is already built, and many algorithms which is available and built, and AWS data exchange and all products. Now when going to the all products, you could see n number of products which is already created, and these are available for the usage. So you can see the YOLO V3, which is YOLO V3, YOLO V4, all are very powerful for object detection, which is very trending um, in this kind of scenario. Like it's very popular, and all these kind of model packages are available readily, but you have to check out the prices, and you can use it. And all this can be done by this Amazon SageMaker. So, I would like to conclude that Amazon SageMaker is very interesting, and we could do many things in this Amazon SageMaker, even though we don't have any prior knowledge on this. So, it will be very useful, and try to explore a lot and keep on learning as it is endless. Thank you.
Thanks, Kavya, for that
Thank
interesting session. I think you've done the best of explaining AI/ML because I've personally been attached around different services. I can completely agree, and that demo which you have given, and we echo the same thing. SageMaker has been one of the good service and a good platform when it comes to machine learning on AWS. So with that, let me quickly go ahead and share my screen and talk about our task 3, which is currently looking forward for due. Uh, so yeah, before I go ahead and talk about the task 3 and all, I would highly request everyone, if you have any questions or queries for Kavya or for me, please put it in the chat. We'll be happy to answer them. Okay, we'll take it once I'm done with this entire quick slides. So talking about the task 3, we have already finished up our task 2. We already have declared the winners for the same. So please do check our Slack announcement sections. We have announced the winners for the task 1 and task 2. We are already sitting on the verge to finish our task 3. 2 days to go. By I think Saturday end of the day, the task 3 deadline will get ended over. The task 3 is around database deploying and managing infrastructure, cloud monitoring, and AWS global infra. So if you have not submitted the task 3, please do it, because the giveaways is a pretty interesting one. You will get a chance to win AWS certification voucher for cloud practitioner up to 50% off. So please do it right today. So you participate and you get a chance to win that particular voucher. So why exactly? What was the reason of doing this entire boot camp? Why we went ahead and thought through of organizing this boot camp and series of different sessions? So the idea was to have a kind of a networking platform where you can talk to AWS experts. Like we have Kavya, we had different speakers, different experts with different competencies and expertise. You talk to them, interact them, and create a bonding, a kind of a learning curve along with them. You also get an access to special AWS contents like the demos which Kavya presented today in the session, the presentation contents, and all those kinds of stuff. As well as you get different kinds of swags, vouchers, and goodies as per allocated by AWS User Group India. Like the swag which I talked about in the AWS certification voucher which I talked about in the previous slides, or the task quiz winners which we used to have previously, right? Those kinds of different stuff. Knowledge sharing and learning certification, as well as we also in our Slack we have a dedicated channel which talks about the different openings of jobs across different organization, as well as the hiring opportunity, right? You can also, if you're looking out for some folks, you can post your job there, and interested people will submit their resumes. So we have that channel around that to make it more interactive and vibrant, our Slack workspace. Now let me talk about why exactly, what was an thought process, or what was our goal to start the AWS User Group Madurai, right? And why you should look forward to join us. It's pretty simple. We want to grow and learn and build a network, right? Everyone here as a part of the community wants to do same. They want to learn with the community, they want to grow and build an entire network in the community. So that's how that was our main thought process. Content wise, we are different kings, we have different kinds of contents, right? We do have competitions on the Slack, like in terms of different talks, blogs, video reels, and many more kinds of stuff. As I mentioned initially also at the beginning of this session, The entire user group is designed on the thumbnail of principle of zero to hero kind of stuff, where we welcome all the different kinds of folks across different expertise, and it is catered to fulfill the need of all the stakeholders, all the kind of people. Like you have different kinds of technical help, career help, job related stuff. We are happy to help you out in all the directions. People are here on the Slack channel, as well as on the audiences are from different languages like English, Tamil, Hindi, or any other vernacular languages. And then interesting stuff. We do have different contests, as I mentioned, the Slack contest, different kinds of swag, the kind of quiz, task, which you participate and you get a chance to win the swag. The one which I just announced 2 slides back. So that was our idea. If you still not have been registered with AWS User Group Madurai, please do it today. The link is flashing on the screen, as well as it's currently on the screen. bit.ly/join AWS MDU. Please join today. And we also do have presence on other social media platforms like Insta, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. Please do follow us. Any kinds of events what we are doing, whether you talk about the next episode in our bootcamp, any task, any kinds of doubt solving sessions, or any other event outside bootcamp, we do also post on all of this session. Even though our Slack becomes our main interactive platform, but we do have our followers across the social media platform. So if you're not able to join Slack, please do subscribe this other social media handlers, so you are pretty much updated with any sorts of announcement. And that's all what I have from my end. From today's session, will be open for any sorts of questions and query you have before we wrap up the session. Please do post the questions in the chat. We'll be happy to take them up. I think, Kavya, we are good. I don't see any question from the audience. So yeah, guys, again, I'll just recap. That's fine. If you don't have the question now, that's okay. We are very active on a Slack, or as well as on the YouTube channel. So if you're watching this video in a recorded form, or if you have any questions after watching it in the recorded form, you can put it on the Slack channel. You can put it in the comment of the YouTube channel, anything, AWS User Group India or AWS User Group Madurai. We are very active across both the YouTube channels as well as on Slack. So don't hesitate. You can still reach out to us offline for any sorts of questions or anything like how I can start my entire career in ML. You can reach out to Kaviya. She is very excited to help you out to start your journey. So we'll be happy to take all the questions offline. With that, I will thank you all. I'll thank Kaviya for pulling out a time from a busy schedule. Thank you. Sorry, Kaviya, you were on mute, but I'm saying we can understand that.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So thank you so much, Kaviya, for pulling out the time to help us to understand. It was
Thank
really
you.
interesting.
Thank
And
you, sir.
thank you. Thank you to all of our wonderful audience. I understand completely. Getting out some time from your busy schedule on weekdays is pretty difficult. So thank you, guys. Stay safe. We'll look forward to your active participants in the next episode. With that, I'll wrap up the sessions. Stay safe and keep continue learning.
Thank you.
Thank you.